is the Fade 5 podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here, joined by the good sir Nathaniel Lundy. This is indeed the Fade 5 podcast, Monday Night Football edition. And can we just commence Tequila Thursday a few days early? Because I think we're going to need it for Patriots and Bears tonight. Lundy, the fighting Bill Belichick's are laying 8. We got a snowman on the board here with a total of 40.5. Pulled this line from BetMGM this morning. If you have a lane, because I got to stomach this game as a Chicago Bears fan somehow, and I may need all the love juice humanly possible in my system to get through the 3.5 or 4 hours of football. But betting wise, to make this more entertaining, what side are you on, either Bears or Patriots?
Well, first of all, can't stand either of these numbers, if I'm being completely honest with you. And the reason why is because I think the Patriots win it by a touchdown, by 7 right on the nose, which means a couple of the plays that I did actually involve alt-lining this down to like 5.5 or 6.5, depending upon what kind of numbers you can get. I'm calling for it to be 24-17. So creeping just over that 40.5. But again, that's why I don't like the lines, because I think the fact that we've got 8 sitting there is one of those that starts to mess with your head in terms of the difference. And then the 40.5, again, 24-17. Would I be surprised if it was 13-6? No, not at all. But at the same time, I think the odds makers have done a really good job with this. So to me, tonight's game, despite the fact that it's all about the Suavecito, like go grab a bottle of Añejo, be happy, and enjoy it on a Monday. I know you're setting yourself up for a rough work week, but who cares? Do it anyway. So grab the bottle because you do need hashtag Tequila Monday for this. But when you look at the way this game is set up, I think it lends itself beautifully to one-game parlays because you can alt-line some stuff, or it lends itself to like alt-line this and then pair it with, like, I don't know, your favorite NBA game tonight or something like that. Like, find something to make this interesting, because I think taking it on the straight lines is going to be death, because I think these lines are really, really tight for tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree, but bear down, Chicago Bears. I'm scared. I'll be honest. I do like the Bears plus the 8, but I have scaled this back on an alt line myself and did a little parlay, OGP or same gamer, depending upon where you play and where you shop. I took New England down to -2.5. I think they'll win, maybe by 3 or more in this contest. So I kind of like the Bears plus the 8, which is just an odd number overall. I'm kind of with you a little bit on the over. So as a result, I'm going to play this up to 46.5, but take the under on that number. So build in that nice little cushion. Hopefully we're going to avoid the pushing. Yeah, we got Captain Hook involved. So give me New England -2.5. Give me the total on the under 46.5. You put those together, and I constructed this at BetMGM plus 100. Even money. Why the heck not? New England 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 games. The Bears 1-3-1 ATS in their last 5, though the Patriots have covered the last 3 meetings on the standard line between these two squads. But 8 points, I feel, is just too many. But yeah, bartender, give me all the love juice possible. I will need it immediately to numb the pain and the boredom to get through Bears and Patriots. With that put to bed, let's get to it on this Manic Monday with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, Lundy, here is a one-play payday. And this one is sledgehammer worthy in my mind. I'm going to go with Velus Jones on the over 3.5 receiving yards. It's minuscule. It's a measly number. All I need is one catch, a couple of break tackles there, because it's likely going to be a screen, a wide receiver screen, bubble screen, something of that nature. That's how Jones is utilized within this offense. And we score cash money. Took this at -115 at BetMGM. Jones has ran a whopping 3 routes this entire season so far. He's only seen action in 3 games, but his snap share has been increasing. Just a couple of weeks ago was at 6.3%. Last week he played on 15.6% of the snaps. So if we're trending in hopefully the right direction here, maybe it's 20% of the snap share tonight. He has gotten a target and a catch in consecutive games. It went 1 for 9 2 weeks ago and 1 for 10 last week. 19 guys have gone over this number, including a fellow rookie Christian Watson of the Green Bay Packers, who's kind of utilized in a similar fashion as Velus Jones. So 1 catch, just 1. That's all I am hoping for here. And I will eventually and hopefully score some cash money here in the end. So fade or follow Velus Jones over just 3.5. Meaningless, it seems like. Receiving yards, just give it to him, Patriots. Minus 115 at BetMGM.
This is like how I bet Nikola Jokic player props. Give me the 1 made 3 and the 1 block. That's all I need.
Yeah, right.
Just give me those. Maybe occasionally work in a steal because he's got those quick hands when he's down in the paint on a defensive perspective. But yeah, you're looking for the one and done here. I'm gonna let the recency bias creep in a little bit here, just because of the fact that he's managed to hit this in 2 consecutive games. Let's call it 3. But you're right; it's going to be some sort of a screen. But it is a one and done type of prop. So this is a fun one that you can be able to do as long as he doesn't get one of those bubble screens. You start running around and then
don't run backwards, forwards only.
You get tackled for like a 5-yard loss. Those kinds of things happen, and those kinds of things, frankly, happen against Belichick. But I'll roll with the one-time payday in this one. Let's hope, like I said, that it's like one of my made 3-pointers in the NBA player props, and that we hit it and we hit it quickly.
1 play payday. Yeah, I'm jonesing for it.
Number 4.
All right, let's get an SGP. Are you with me on this 2-legger? I am having a really profitable week so far here, Lundy, after giving away billions upon billions of dollars. And trust me, they're not billions, maybe in like Turkish lira last week. But I gave up a lot of units last week. We have gained many of those units back here this week. And this one is on the plus side. And maybe we can get more of those units lost from week 6 back into the account. I'm going to go with Hunter Henry under 44.5 receiving yards. And I'm going to slap that together with Cole Kmet over 19.5 receiving yards, plus 125 at DraftKings. It was National Tight End Day yesterday, and that is carrying over to this little 2-legger here on Monday night. The reason why I'm under on Hunter Henry, the Bears have allowed 3.7 receptions per game and just 34.2 yards per game to the tight end position. Only 1 plus-size target has gone over this alt line of 44.5, and Henry has been under this in 3 of 5 games. Yeah, he's got a Mac Jones back, but maybe there's some chemistry issues there. But maybe 3 catches, 35 yards. But again, building in a little bit of safety here with that 44.5 under, I think we'll cash in. Meanwhile, leg numero dos, Cole Kmet over 19.5 receiving yards. I look at tight end production against New England, 4.7 receptions per game and 44.5 yards per game. 5 guys, 5 amigos have gone over this number. Kmet has been over this in 2 of his last 4. He's number 8 at the position at yards per target, averaging 15.8 routes per game, though because of the low volume nature of the Bears' vertical offense, only averaging 2.5 targets per game. But I just need 2 catches, and I think I will cash in on this. So Hunter Henry under 44.5 receiving yards. Cole Kmet over 19.5 receiving yards on that 2-legger SGP plus 125 at DraftKings. Fade or follow.
You got me a little nervous on the Hunter Henry. I'm not going to lie, because you pointed out the fact that he's been under in 3 out of 5 games, but you failed to point out that the 2 he's been over are back-to-back. They're the last 2 games. And so there has been that pattern. Yes, I understand, going to be different with Bailey Zappi. Still can't get over that name. Bailey Zappi no longer there. Go with Mac Jones. Brad, let me give you an alternate version of what you just did here. Built this one earlier today. So I'm leaving Cole Kmet right where he's at 19.5. But instead of Hunter Henry, I am going to throw in David Montgomery under 64.5 rushing yards. So going to a guy that I think is going to get controlled. I think that's what Belichick wants to do, is to try to force Justin Fields to throw the ball, therefore control the running game. So I'm going to bring, I believe Montgomery's standard line is 52. So I've bumped him up to 64.5. I'm taking the under there. My SGP is a plus 135. So I got an extra 10 points out of that one. So if you're a little nervous about Hunter Henry, which I am, because again, I know he's been under in 3 of 5, but he has been over in the last 2. I kept the Komet because I think you're right about that one, and I put David Montgomery in instead and took it to plus 135. So you got a couple options here, folks.
Plus 125, plus 135, it doesn't matter. Get seduced by the juice.
Number 3.
All right, numero tres here, and this one seems a little hefty to me. I'm going to take the under on Justin Fields, 24.5 pass attempts. We got a lighter juice here, minus 105 at BetMGM. He's been over this just one time this entire season. That was in the last game. He had 27 pass attempts against the Washington Commanders, but he's been under in 5 of 6. He really leans on the duality. He's averaging 9 carries per game. And when defenses drop back, especially with a field stretcher like Darnell Mooney and his elite speed down the field, Fields sees green space and he takes off. And I think that's going to be in his nature tonight. You look at New England giving up just 6.7 pass yards per attempt and under 235 pass yards per game to opposing signal callers. So it's not like a lot of guys have had a ton of success vertically against them. So again, the legs of Fields going to have to be a point of emphasis, I believe, tonight to move the chains and acquire first downs. And you also got to play in the factor of the total here, which is sitting at 40.5, as I mentioned at the top of the show. So this is not going to be a pew, pew, pew shootout, shooting blanks out of those pistols in hand. And I think Fields, maybe 21 to 23 pass attempts, but 25? I don't think he does that in consecutive weeks. So give me the under here on that prop, minus 105 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow.
So the only reason I'll follow, but the only reason this one's got me nervous is exactly what I just said when I was talking about putting together that same game parlay that involved Montgomery, because I think Belichick's hoping to try to force him to throw the ball. I think you take the Belichick rule, right? Take away your strength. Well, the strength for the Bears right now is running the ball, not passing it. And so I think they try to force him into doing that. I do think he stays underneath it, but I got to be honest, for a game this shitty, Brad, I don't really want to be sweating out my bets in the fourth quarter. Like, I really don't. That doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. So this one, I'm going to follow because I do think he's going to be right there, but I think you're going to be sweating this one down the stretch as the Bears try to play catch up at the very end.
You know what that means? Guaranteed 3.5 hours of entertainment with this wager.
Number 2.
All right, let's get in plus odds, singular wager here on the board. And I'm going to go with Jakobi Meyers, a slot machine, cha-ching. And hopefully it's going to make that fruitful noise on the over 4.5 receptions at plus 110 at BetMGM. I love this prop. Almost number 1 for me on the show today. He's seen 26.2% of the team's target share. That's 7.8 targets per game. He's averaging 24.5 routes per contest, seeing about 45% of those out of the slot. And the Bears have been very generous in slot coverage this season, giving up well north of a 70% catch rate in those situations. Now, he's not exactly a field stretcher. He's a dirty worker underneath, running a lot of quick slants, quick post routes, drag routes as well. That's why he's wide receiver 43, an average depth of target. Only 2 guys have reached 5 receptions against my Chicago Bears this season, but Myers, being the centerpiece of this vertical attack, I think will be the apple of Mac Jones's eye. That's why I believe 5 catches or more are in his forecast. So give me the over on 4.5 receptions at plus money, plus 110 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow.
I will get seduced by the juice on this one because I like the plus odds opportunity. That's really what will send me over the top with this one. Try to find some value, find stuff that you think can happen. Target shares there. He's been right there in the 4 games. He's been over twice. He's been under twice, but both of them that he was under, he was right at 4. So all you're looking for is that 5th catch to sneak in there. And remember, it doesn't matter what the yards are. It doesn't matter whether it's for 2 or it's for 30. All you need is the catch. You're not concerned about the yardage. And so, yes, I will roll with this one because I really like this at plus odds. I think this is a solid bet.
Jakobi Meyers, make me some moolah.
Number 1.
Well, it's only natural that I go mandatory Montgomery. Cue the Billy Idol in the background. Little flashful fantasy. And that's exactly what I have for him on this particular player prop. And we've seen a little bit of movement. It opened at 11.5. Hit it on that number. And then it fell back to 10.5, where it is right now at Caesars. And I hit it again at minus 115 on the over, that 10.5 receiving yards. This could also be a one-play payday of sorts. Now, Montgomery, I feel, has been criminally underutilized as a receiver out of the backfield. And he's going to surrender probably about 35% of the snap share to Khalil Herbert in this game. But Montgomery's averaging 10-point routes run per contest, 11.3 yards per reception. So there's your one-play payday angle. Just one catch hits his average, and we score some cash money. He's caught 90% of his intended looks, 11 targets in 5 games. And you look at New England, 4.2 receptions, 40.0 flat receiving yards per game of the running back position. 7 dudes have gone over this number. So Montgomery, maybe some scoreboard chasing is on the menu, on the agenda, knowing that the Bears are an 8-point underdog in this game. So it only plays into this number even more. I just need a couple of targets, maybe one catch, and we cash the over 10.5 receiving yards. I say we. Are you with me on that over at minus 115 at Caesars?
Well, I told you I was using his rushing prop on an alt line in that same game parlay that I talked about that we did at DraftKings just a minute ago with Cole Kmet. So I'm under on the rushing side, but yeah, I'll take the over on the receiving yards for sure. I like the fact that this has come down a little bit. Yes, I know it's only gone down by a yard, but hey, folks, sometimes that's what makes the difference, okay? The amount of the NBA bets that I've done here over the first handful of days of the season that I've actually been lucky. I have been on the right side of the hook numerous times so far over the first few days, which means I'm destined to have it go the opposite direction here anytime now. I had some game totals that I got lucky that, 225.5 finished right at 225 for me on the under, things like that. So I think Monty gets up over this. I'm looking for 2 catches here, Brad. I think that's what you want. You get 2, you get the buffer, you get him to about 16 or 17. That way, if there is a third one that he gets dropped for a loss by that New England defense, you're still okay. So I'm going to go for the 2 receptions. I'm going to tell you, I still like that Jakobi Meyers bet. I think that should have been number 1. I'm just throwing that out there.
Because you get seduced by the juice because you're a slut.
Yes, I think that's what you got to be able to do. But yeah, I do like this one. I'll take the over. I think this is a number that he can easily achieve. Like you said, could be one and done. More than likely, you want 2 in there to give yourself the buffer.
Yes, I'm also a floozy. That's why I have 6 wagers open in this game as a result, plus a ton of other action in other sports and more in this one as well. It's bonus time. Lundy, what else you have hopefully on this Money-Making Monday?
Let's do a quick 2 different bets here to go first in this Monday night contest. First of all, speaking of Jakobi Meyers, give me the over on 20.5 on his longest reception, which is not really, it's actually juiced to the under, not the over. It's a minus 110 right now on the over. He's gone over this total in all 4 games, which include 2 with Mac Jones under center. So I'm going to take him. I think 20.5 is a decent number for him, given the fact that the shortest of his longest receptions, there's a weird use of the English language. The shortest of his longest receptions has been 24. So there's a 3-yard buffer there that he's done. So give me the over on that at DraftKings. Found that one at a minus 110. Here's another 1-game parlay. This one courtesy of BetMGM. Let's go all Ramondre Stevenson all the time, shall we? Give me New England on the money line. Then give me Stevenson for 50-plus rush yards and Stevenson for an anytime touchdown.
Yes.
Put all three of those together, it is a plus 145. Now we go over to the NHL. I've been making a lot of money, folks, on the goal in the first 10 in the National Hockey League. You see me on Twitter. I refer to it as a gift, goal in first 10. Get it? GIFT. And it's been happening at a, Brad, 65% clip over the course of the season. So what I've told folks, pardon me for a slight Professor Lundy lesson here real quick. What I've been telling folks is these are juiced to the overs, okay, big time. Anywhere between minus 150 and minus 185, depending upon the game. So really, the only way to get yourself into good territory is you got to do at least 2 legs, if not more. So there's 2 games for that I like tonight that we're going to put together. I'm looking for a gift in the Pittsburgh and Edmonton game, and I'm looking for a goal in the first 10 in Toronto and Vegas. If we put both of those together at DraftKings, it is a plus 137. To give you an idea, Pittsburgh and Edmonton combined have had a gift in 9 out of the 10 games they have played between the two of them. And if you go to Vegas, it's happened to Vegas in 4 out of the 5 that they've done. So again, some leaky goaltending early on, some strong legs that are attacking in the offensive zone. It makes these gifts pretty profitable. Yesterday was actually a bit of an exception because we actually had 2 games that it didn't happen in, which is kind of a surprise. I think we get back at it tonight. So 2-leg that one. And then a player prop for you, excuse me, in that Pittsburgh and Edmonton game. Chris Letang of your Pittsburgh Penguins, give me an assist for Letang at a minus 115. The first 4 games of the year, he had 4 assists in 4 games. Then nothing in his game on Saturday. So I say he gets an apple. Give me that one at minus 115. Those are the odds right now at DraftKings.
All right. Those are all attractive plays in my eyes because I know nothing about the NHL. So thank you for educating me there, Lundy. Let me go a little OGP. Come with me on a couple of these parlay plays in the Monday night affair tonight. This is the All Chicago special. So pile it on with some giardiniera and add a little spice. I'm going to go Justin Fields, 125 plus pass yards. Give me Darnell Mooney, just 30 plus receiving yards. And I mentioned Cole Kmet earlier. I had him in that tight end 2-way. I got Cole Kmet in this one, 20 plus receiving yards. All 3 of those legs hit. You're looking at plus 145 at BetMGM. Hey, look at Fields. Yeah, he's got to throw a ton tonight. Again, I'm under on the 24.5 pass attempts. So this is 125 yards. He's averaging 190.7 pass yards per game in his last 3. The lowest number, ironically enough, was to Mitchell Trubisky that New England allowed early this season at $168. So I think Fields can at least throw for 125. And let's correlate, synergize, bring it all together. That's why I like Mooney. On that 30-plus receiving yards, he is number 21 and average at the target. Only seen 5.5 targets per game due to the conservative nature of the Bears' offense, but he's going to get a ton of miles, Brian, in coverage, who's given up a 117.1 passer rating to his assignments. And then all the reasons I said why I like Cole Kmet on that other 2-legger earlier, it applies here. Again, New England giving up 44.5 receiving yards per game to the tight end position. All right, another 3-legger. You mentioned Ramondre Stevenson. Give me Ramondre anytime touchdown. Give me Ramondre 50-plus rush yards. And give me Mac Jones. So this is all a New England 3-legger at 195-plus pass yards. That's plus 250 at BetMGM. Really, the weakness of the Bears is in the trenches. They're giving up 4.69 yards per carry, 152.2 total yards per game, and 6 combined touchdowns just to the running back position. Meanwhile, I look at Mac Jones. He's gone for 213, 252, and 321 in the 3 games he's seen action in. Probably going to be a very pocket tied night. Still nursing that sore ankle, but he is number 8 in deep ball completion percentage. So maybe that plays in your Jakobi Meyers overplay for yards on a single catch, but I think he'll get to at least 200. So again, Ramondre, anytime touchdown, Ramondre, 50-plus rush yards, and Mac Jones, 195-plus pass yards, plus 250. Get seduced by that juice and play it at BetMGM. Let's go to the NBA, shall we? And I like Paolo Banchero, the number 1 overall pick, a member of the Orlando Magic, over 24.5 points, plus rebounds. He has crushed this number in his first 3 games in an NBA uniform, 28, 32, and 36. He has gone in points and rebounds combined in those efforts. I get the Knicks, and the Knicks have been outstanding defensively this season, but they have allowed the second most opponent rebounds per game, though they are number 7 in adjusted defensive efficiency, giving up 1.047 points per possession. Still, I'm going to go with the trend. Banchero has been a banger and a scorer. That's why I like the over here on 24.5 points plus rebounds. I'm also going to take the over on Joel Embiid just boards. It's 12.5 rebounds, and I locked in at DraftKings at even money, plus 100 against the Indiana Pacers. I play this all day long. He went 20 rebounds and 13 rebounds in his 2 matchups against Indiana last year, and that was a much better Indiana team than what they're trotting out there this season. Indiana has allowed the 9th most rebounds per game at 47.7 this season. The only concern that I have on this wager is if Philadelphia blitzes them and Embiid sits for much of the fourth quarter, but if you can get 3.5 quarters of play out of him, I think it could be a 15 board kind of game, and the number here is just 12.5. And again, I got it even money at DraftKings. And we are out of time here on what is surely going to be a Tequila Monday in the Evans household to get through Bears and Patriots. Do me a favor and do Lundy one as well. Give us a follow on Twitter. All my picks are absolutely free. Never put a pick behind a paywall. That is my motto. You can follow me at Noisy Wavis, Lundy, as well as a free spreadsheet of all his action, including his stellar hockey picks, at Nate Lundy. And do us another favor, too, and drop us a rating and a review if you enjoy this podcast or you get some satisfaction at what we're selling, whether an animated picture and sound on YouTube, where this show streams on the Feed the Noise channel that I created in Lundy, and I feed constantly, or you're just listening and pumping your eardrums with the auditory version. Drop us that rating and a review. It helps us out tremendously. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.